Hi, I'm Dr. Ryan Outred, coming to you from HealthOut Fitness here in Vancouver, BC. We're bringing health and fitness together here to keep you healthy and keep you in the game. So I want to talk to you about hamstring stretching today. A typical habit with stretching is that some people might have 1 or 2 stretches that they do, and that's the extent of their routine. One of those stretches can be the hamstring stretch, like for instance for runners, maybe after their runs they might throw in 1 hamstring stretch and then off to the change room you go. The problem with that is that you can actually cause imbalance to your body if you don't have particularly tight hamstrings and you're always doing that stretch. You could actually cause your hips to generally just start to get more and more like this, and the hamstrings could even weaken a little bit and feel like they need to be stretched all the time. So you could end up in this cycle of I'm stretching the hamstrings more because they feel like they're tight, but in actuality maybe there's guarding and they're weak and you need to actually stretch the other side of the body. So stretching is one of those areas where it's a great idea to see a health professional, help them focus where you're going to put your stretching energy so that you can make the most of your time and also just bring your body into balance better. So if you only have 3 to 5 minutes after you do some fitness or at night before bed, you know what to do with that time. So I'm going to show you how to self-assess the hamstrings. This would be the corner of a wall or a doorway, and you're going to have your hips within a foot of the wall or right up against the wall. Both sides of my pelvis are touching the ground, so not just the right side of my pelvis over here, but I feel the left side, my left hip bones in the back touching the floor, and I've got a little curve underneath the lower back, so I should be able to gently sneak my fingers underneath the back. That's a pass. So if you can do this, then you don't need a lot of hamstring stretching. You just need a moderate amount of hamstring stretching as part of your balanced stretching routine. If you require hamstring stretching and more of it, this is probably going to be a stretch for you back here. I'm just going to show you 2 other versions now. Here's the kneeling version that we use at HealthOut. So this is just something for padding for your knee so you can kneel. And this isn't necessary, but it's a very small weight that I would hold in the opposite hand of the leg that I'm stretching. I could hold something here for balance as well. Thinking about your pelvis, you're going to roll your pelvis forward like this. So I'm going to activate the muscles in my back to tip the hips forward. I'm not going to lean forward like this, right? That's going to be stretching my lower back, and your goal right now is to stretch the hamstring. So I'm tall, perfect, I'm tipping the hips forward, and then just lifting your hand up with or without some resistance like this can actually just help you activate the proper muscles in your back on this. So lifting this left arm activates the muscles on the right side and the lowest part of my spine to just gently tip those hips forward a little bit more, and the sacrum tips forward, and I should feel a nice stretch through both sides of my hamstring. If you looked at me from the front, your leg should be straight up the middle. You shouldn't be out to the side like that. And my hips shouldn't be turning off to the side either. So my hips are square and my leg is straight up the middle. And the toe can be varied. Sometimes you could go here, sometimes you could go here. If you notice one of those feels tighter than the other, that means that one of the heads of your hamstrings is tighter than the other one. And so you would focus on the one that feels tighter. Lastly, you could also just do a standing version of that if that's uncomfortable for your knee, or you're outside and you don't have anything to kneel on, or you don't feel like laying on the ground. The legs up on a low step. 45 degrees angle in the leg is, if you're somebody who needs the stretch, this is probably going to be enough of a stretch for you. Same idea. I'm tipping the hips forward, feeling the little muscles in my back kick in. If I lean forward in the upper body, it's only because my hips rolled forward. So I have a nice backwardly bent lower back. Leg is straight up the middle. I'm not turning my hips off to the side. I'm kind of sitting my hips back into the stretch. A lot of people will kind of lean forward on the hamstring as they, you don't want to lean forward on the same muscle that you're trying to stretch. Okay, I hope you found that helpful. Once again, thank you very much for tuning in, and I look forward to speaking to you next week. Once again, do not just work out, health out.